Hello, wherever you are in the world. It has been a while. I'm not going to go into too much detail about everything. I'm just going to give a brief little summary of what's happened. There's been a lot of change. So just a trigger warning, this covers miscarriage, health complications, and yeah, I don't want to upset anyone. And also another disclaimer, I am not a doctor. I am not a medical professional by any means. So with that being said, I'll just start where I think I left off. About May, was it May? Mid-May, or maybe the beginning of May, somewhere in May, I went for a transfer, and it was this particular IVF cycle was our second one. I was not having the injections. The only injection I did was the trigger shot, and I was on progesterone, and that was it. And I felt so much better with it. I felt more myself, felt more in control. I just felt more me. I was more comfortable with the whole setup. Everything was going smoothly, and it was a frozen embryo transfer. Sorry if I keep looking up, it's because I'm trying to remember that far back. I know it's only August, but May for me is a long time ago. So, test day came, and I did a home pregnancy test, and that came back positive. No, baby. No, sorry. My cat is trying to get into things. And the home test came back positive. I was so excited. I phoned my clinic, booked, I think it's like the 8-week scan to confirm that it was a viable pregnancy, did all of the things, and I was nervous because of what happened the first time. The first time it ended in a chemical pregnancy, and I was nervous to get my hopes up. I was almost afraid to get attached because that first loss caused so much pain. So I was excited, but also very, very scared. I took my vitamins and supplements, everything you're supposed to do when you find out you're pregnant, I did, like I did last time, well, the first time. And we made it past the day in week 5 where we lost the first when we had our chemical pregnancy. So even though it was week 5, we almost felt like we were out of the clear. Like, okay, well, we've made it past this. This is uncharted territory. And then I started having the same symptoms. The hospital, I don't want to talk about the nightmare that the hospital was. They were anything but sympathetic. I knew what was happening, but I just wanted that confirmation. And like going through a miscarriage is already stressful and distressing as it is. It's another thing for when you go to the hospital to basically be treated like you're an inconvenience. And that just like added to the unpleasantness of the reality. So they said, there's not really a whole lot we can do. They just gave me like some home care advice. And I had a couple weeks off of work to recover from that. And then after the few weeks off of work, I went back to it. Before I get to that bit, not even a week after, like I felt, and if you've ever gone through this, just know you are not alone. I felt like myself was in pieces, and I didn't know where or how to pick up the pieces. And shout out to my mom and my mother-in-law and all the other women that I reached out to for help and support, because the hospital were very clinical. There wasn't a whole lot of like emotional support other than take it easy. But yeah, that, like, they really, really got me through that. I still have moments where I think, like, you know, how far along would I be today? And those moments are hard. And trying to live with the why, and why twice, because we were told that it was almost impossible for it to happen twice in a row, except the first one was a chemical pregnancy, the second one was a miscarriage. So, still 2 big losses in 6 months' time. So, like I said, I tried to take as good care of myself as I could in those 2 weeks, because the last thing that was on my mind was getting back to work. So when I did go back to work, I just wanted to get out the house, doing stuff, being productive, because when it's just you and 2 cats, there's not a whole lot you can do to keep yourself occupied. So I went to work and everything seemed to be fine. Unless you've been following me on Facebook, you'll know that I've recently come out of hospital, like almost a week ago. I've been discharged. Doesn't feel that fast. But yes, I was in hospital. If you follow this channel, you'll know that I have ulcerative colitis. And I had been having symptoms of a flare-up for basically since the beginning of the end of the miscarriage. I started having symptoms. And I called up my nurses and I told them, hey, I'm not feeling great. Can you do something? So they did a few tests. They put me on some medication. There was a lot of back and forth and a lot of delayed response, which, because of the delayed response and lack of communication on their end, it put me in hospital. And not just that, my disease has spread. This is all linked, by the way. It's progressed, which, not great. It is what it is, but not great. Not what you want to hear. And I spoke to the doctor about the recent loss, and I said, is there a link between like early pregnancy loss and a flare-up? He said 100%. He said there's a link between hormones, cycles, your gut health, and I'm on infliximab. And I said, isn't that meant to like be keeping this all under control? He said, yeah, but sometimes if you're new to the medication, which I am, he said any additional stress or loss can trigger a flare. You can still be under treatment and still flare. So I was in hospital for a week. I've been put on this diet, let's just say we're definitely taking a good solid break from fertility treatment and looking at, and I don't even know how much I can say about this online, because we still really want a family unit, but I don't know how much of that I can say on YouTube. But yeah, the last 4 months have been really, really rough. Really, really rough. And today I'm gonna be uploading a YouTube video, and just reading, doing some journaling, some baking. Might go to a shop. Well, I know I'm gonna be getting outside because mental health and all that. I love being outside, although it's been rainy this morning, so yeah. Just remember to take it easy on yourselves. And I need to remember to take it easy on myself because I'm still healing. My body reminds me of that daily. So be kind to yourselves, be kind to others. I don't know when I'll be posting next or what I'll be posting next. This might very well be one of my last videos for quite some time. So take care and be kind.